Diversity is.
Um,
Diversity is. I'm seeing how.
To me, diversity is all of like the differences between people, like not just race or gender, stuff like that. It's like, what are people interested in? What are their hobbies? Who do they hang out with? That's diversity to me, including race and gender and sexual orientation and stuff like that.
To me, diversity is what makes us unique, what makes us us.
Diversity is being different, being not made from a cookie cutter mold. Like if the human race were cookies, gingerbread men, everyone would have like different colored icing and like different sprinkles that gave them personality. We all wouldn't be the same, and that's what diversity is.
I think the way that it's used most often, when it comes to groups of people, is just a variety of people coming together.
It's like everyone, a collective group of people who might not have like the same background, like from a different country. They might come from a different country, they come from a different state. I mean, we're all have our own sort of like beliefs and like sort of cultures and ideas come from different areas. So that, I mean, diversity is just like different, all these differences just coming in together to make a one whole.
Diversity is just the fact that we're all different in so many different ways, whether it be race or religion, who you are as a person, what you like. There's just so many aspects that come into what makes something diverse that a lot of people tend to usually narrow it down and zero in on just race or something like that, but it's a lot broader subject, and I think that's why we're kind of hitting on that as in this presentation, is just to open up everyone's eyes to how diverse diversity is.
You wouldn't have interesting people and people wouldn't bond because everyone would be the same.
No one would really have any fun, if you ask me, because everything would be the exact same over and over again. No spice in the life.
it'd be boring. Like nobody wants to talk to the same people all the time. You want something different, you want to learn new things. I think that's part of human nature, is learning new things. And you can't learn that if we're all the same. Like with religion, there's so many different types of religion, and there's so many things that there's like yet to learn. And like there are different cultures and there's different beliefs, and life would be boring without those.
I imagine like a big group of people just walking like all in step and all like staring straight ahead and not being anything that makes them individual.
It wouldn't bring out the best in people. I really do think being around people that are different, getting different identities, different people, different ideas, really can make you think about what you believe in. And I really think that can make you stronger and make you think outside the box and come up with some different solutions. So if there wasn't diversity, you wouldn't have any of that. It would just be kind of stale and static, and it just doesn't seem like a fun place to live in.
Diversity is important because it helps people be culturally aware and understand different kinds of people, and it helps you grow as a person.
Diversity is important because you can get better quality things, I guess. So like in yearbook, for example, I am a photographer, and then we have other people that are writers and designers. And if you have like just one group of people that are all photographers making the book, it's gonna look like a picture book because nobody knows how to write, or not as good at writing as other people are. So that's why you need people that have different interests to come together so you can have better quality things, and I think that's really popular with businesses.
The way I see it is, what brings us together is not so much how we're the same exactly, it's why we're not the same. I feel like we're all pieces of a puzzle. We may not all be the same, we may not be the same gender, race, sex, sexual orientation, but the way I see it is whenever we all fit into one, it's what brings us into just one collective whole. And you don't have to be exactly the same to become just one whole.
You know, I think that's something that people need. Some people need to be judged, and that tests their character and tests what they're really made of as people. So really, that's something to me based on what I've experienced and the way I've been labeled and treated in terms of diversity and the way people have acted towards me because of the way I talk or the way that I think or the things that I say. And you know, those types of things, they make you who you are, and they'll define you slowly as a person, and you'll realize who you are.
There have been problems that have come up in society and schools because of diversity. Diversity is the cause of religious wars, bullying, and really any conflicts that people have is because of different opinions.
There's so many different stereotypes that everybody uses every day. It's became, I think, like stereotypes have become overly acceptable. Like people now, instead of it being, for example, white and black, instead of it being, oh, it's wrong for white people to stereotype black people, it's becoming black people are starting to stereotype themselves, to where they're so used to people telling them what they are and are not supposed to be doing because of their past, that now they're thinking, oh, well, that's what I'm supposed to do, that's how I'm supposed to act. And now I feel like it's blocking like what people really need to be doing, and it's distracting.
Problems that have come up because of diversity in society or school, I think are mainly just like unspoken things, just like judgment just by looking at someone.
There have been problems because of diversity in school and just society as a whole, because some people think that they're better because of who they are or what race they are, and others just feel like other races are discriminating against them.
We have these ideas in our head about people that aren't exactly like the way we are.
In school, I feel like a lot of people judge you for it, like on assumptions, and sometimes without even like knowing who you are.
You can teach all you want that people need to treat people nice, but until people get it into their actual minds, and it has to be a choice, like they have to make it their decision that they're going to treat this person equal. You can preach it all day, you can teach it all day, but until they make it their own and make it their decision that they're going to teach or treat this person just like anybody else, then it's not going to go anywhere. And as soon as people get that through their heads, we're golden.
We just have to try to move past that and accept people for who they are and not why they're not the same, and accept why they're unique.
Broaden your identity, you know, take different classes where you might run into different people. If you have opportunities to, you know, study abroad with different classes, that's an amazing process. You learn about different cultures, but not just live in the, you know, your mold, or, you know, we happen to be in St. Charles, not to just live in that suburban mold, but just to get out and experience different things, and that's only going to be able to broaden your horizons, and you're going to learn from it and be a better person in the end.
Don't just assume because if somebody dresses one way that they act that way too, or don't assume that because they hang out with a certain group of people that that's who they are. People just assume too much, and if you just stop assuming, then we'll stop having these little problems that really don't need to exist.
What I think we can do about the problem is people should stop being so narrow-minded and start, you know, being more accepting of other types of people that aren't so much like themselves.
You could be like, oh, well, you can brush it off. And eventually, to some people, that'll get to you. It might get to you right away. It might get to you later on. But because you know who you are and you have a base, an understanding of your character, you know that those things are true.
I mean, it's going to be a really long process because, I don't know, a lot of people's mindset is like deep-rooted from not even their own parents, but their grandparents, their great-grandparents probably thought away, and they just kept passing it down. And, you know, I probably believe a lot because of what my mom believes, but, I mean, it's whatever. I mean, we just have to work, and you gotta look past people's, you know, differences or their diverseness and realize that they're all just people that you probably do have stuff in common with, you just haven't noticed.
I grew up as what you would call an army brat, so we went around, we moved around a lot, and I got to meet all kinds of different people, whether it be on the West Coast or up north, and different religions, different cultures, races. So I really think that that's helped me, just because, again, I think when you experience different cultures, you're just going to be more understanding and just a more well-rounded person.
I've been treated differently at work, I guess, because of my religion. I'm a Lutheran, and I was talking to someone that I work with, and they were like, Christians are some of the most hateful people that I've ever met. They are just so mean to people, and they are just rude, and it like super offended me, and it like appalled me to think that other people think that about like my religion, because not everybody is like that. Like, just because some people feel like that God hates gays, that like everybody feels like that. It's not true, and it's very appalling to think that people think that I'm like that, because there are those people out there that do.
Well, diversity has affected my life because, well, my culture. I mean, in Asia, there's a lot of emphasis on education and honor and being a good person, and I feel like that's changed me, because it definitely given me, it's made me work hard, it's made me try to be a good person and try to help my community.
Diversity has affected my life because, like, I feel like I fall into the Christian stereotype, and everybody thinks I'm just like this perfect little child, and whenever they hear something where it's like, they're just like surprised that I would have done something, and they just like paint a stereotype for people, and then when you don't fit into that stereotype, people are actually surprised. And I think when you make yourself vulnerable and like just truly come out to people and tell about your life, that's pretty rare nowadays. Everybody tries to like hide who they are and tries to fit in, but if you're just open to people and just come out swinging, and people like that and they appreciate it, so that's kind of how I try to be.
Well, I think what makes me different is I'm kind of dorky. I like to read, and I study a lot, and I play sports, but kind of for fun. Like, I'm not a very competitive person, and I'm really friendly towards people, so I don't care who you are, you're still gonna be my friend.
The one thing people will say to me is that I say things weird. Like, I'll say a word weirdly, or like, I don't know, it's just like the way I say things. I did an essay over Theodore Roosevelt, but I kept on saying Roosevelt. I know I say I've been to the movies, not I've been to the movies.
That's what makes me different. I'm not willing to conform to whatever the school wants me to be. Like, if I want to pray at lunch, I'm gonna do it. If I want to wear colors that don't match, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna rock my individuality as much as I can, because diversity is really cool.
I'm different because I'm not really a part of one specific group of people. I have friends that are athletes and that are artsy and that are from my church and that are from my work, and I'm like all of them combined, I guess. I don't really have like one specific role that I'm in.
I like art, and I like writing, and I like poetry, and I think that a lot of people don't know this about me because everyone sort of like stereotypes it into, oh, Robert Frost and William Shakespeare, that's it. And I'm like, no, there are so many other artists and writers and actors that are really good at their craft.
I have 6 or 8 toes on my right foot. No, I'm kidding. I've heard that I'm brutally honest, and sometimes you have to be, so I guess I'm different.
I'm different. I'm different. I'm different. I'm someone that anyone can talk to. I can walk up to anybody, whether they be black, white, or pale, or shy, or whatever the case may be. I can walk up to any of those people and hold a conversation with them, because that's the kind of guy I am. I can just walk up to you and I'll just start talking to you. once I give you my name and I know yours, you know, that's just kind of what it is. We can be best of friends no matter what, unless you give me a reason not to. I mean, if you'd rather not talk to me, then I won't bother you. But I'm somebody that anybody can be friends with.
Do you want to fit in or do you want to stand out?
Are you part of the problem or the solution? Are you going to break down the barrier?
Or do you want to be judged by people who don't know you?
What are you doing to break the mold?
How do you stand out?
So when it comes to diversity, are you going to stay inside your box, or are you going to branch out, get to know other things, get to know other people, and become a stronger person because of that?
I'm different. I'm different. I want to stand out. That's the question. I don't understand why she's laughing, but that is the question.
Does that work?
Can we restart? I feel like these are really bad answers.
You want to start all over?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you
Hit you. That was it. I can't do it anymore. That was the last one I had in me.